Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am Iman Al-Mugheri, Project Manager of Abu Dhabi Youth Hub under Federal Youth Authority, and a team member at the Minister of State for Youth Affairs Office. Thank you so much for joining us here today to celebrate Emirati Women's Day, which is marked every year on August 28th. Emirati Women's Day celebrates the achievements and milestones of women across UAE. Today, Cartier is shining a light on this celebration and renews its commitment to empower women all over the world by supporting and encouraging businesses led by female entrepreneurs through the Cartier's Women Initiative 2020. We're very honored to be joined by Her Excellency Sheikha Lebnى القاسمي, and as well by Sophie Douaro, Cartier's UAE and India's Managing Director, and as well by Dr. Heba Shatta, founder of Maharat Learning Center, and the winner of Cartier's Women Initiative Award in 2019. And as well, Hind Al-Awais, Vice President of the International Participant and Non-Official Organizations Department at Expo 2020 Dubai. Bringing us all together is the BY Zahra, the English language platform by Zahra al-Khaleej. Now let's go on to the panelists. After holding several leadership positions in the UAE's public sector, in 2004, Her Excellency Sheikha Lebnى al-Qasimi became the first woman in the country's history to hold a ministerial position and to be involved in decision-making processes. Sheikha Lebnä's continuous efforts and ambition made it possible for young women to dream bigger and set their goals toward higher ranking position in the government. Sheikha Lebnä was ranked among the 10 most powerful Arab women in the government sector from 2015 up to 2017. Her success story is a source of inspiration for many women. Sheikha Lebnä, what is your wish to every woman in the UAE on the occasion of Emirati Women's Day?
Hello, everyone, and I'm quite honored to be part of this panel of these amazing women. I would like to begin by congratulating all the women of the UAE on this auspicious day. Our women had taken incredible steps in moving forward the country and putting us on the map of gender balance and gender equality. I would also like to thank our government, who was the #1 supporter for the women of the UAE, on the amazing support that we had since the foundation of the United Arab Emirates. We are quite lucky to be in the Emirates for their support of all the women and the young women especially.
I would like to also address the same question to the rest of the panelists. We would love to start with Sophie. It's on mute.
Yes, sorry. Thank you, Iman, and hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be a part of this very qualitative panel. I'm very happy also to celebrate Emirati Women's Day today. You know that I've lived in the UAE for the last 6 years, and I had a great opportunity to meet amazing women. One of them is part of this panel, and one of them is very dear to me. This is Her Excellency Sheikha Lebnى al-Qasimi. She inspires me every day in her experience and her accessibility. There is also another grande dame, as we say in French. This is Her Excellency Rima al-Hashimi, who is, of course, leading, as you all know, Expo 2020, and really resonates and gives, let's say, importance to the UAE throughout the world. And what I would like to say to all Emirati women is that these role models that we can see, thanks to Sheikha Lebnى or Rima al-Hashimi, have a resonance outside the UAE, which is very important. But all of us can have a resonance, can be role models in our own lives, whether it's at work, whether it's with our family. So I wish you the best. And once again, happy Emirati Women's Day.
Thank you. I would love to hear the wishes from Hind as well.
First of all, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so honored and pleased to be with you and to be part of this panel. My wish, I guess, would be to continue on this trajectory for Emirati women, for the UAE, to continue to build on the vision of the leadership that has instilled since day one that women take their rightful place in society, that we continue to have great role models, as Sophie said, like Sheikha Lebnى, like Her Excellency Rima al-Hashimi, that we continue to put ourselves on the map and continue to grow and blossom together.
And Dr. Heba?
First, I would like to thank you for inviting me to be a member or part of this beautiful panel. I would like to congratulate all the women and the Emirati women in special with the Emirati Women Day. I come from Saudi Arabia and I lived here for the last 20 years. I witnessed a lot of growth when it comes to empowering women and giving them opportunity. And I think Emirat, the UAE is an example for many countries. I think I am inspired every day with the new initiatives and many participations that women add to the community and the society. Today we celebrate and the success, and I hope that we will continue to do that in the future.
We're blessed with this amazing wishes. Sheikha Lubna, thank you for being with us today. The question would be, what is the main leap forward women have made in the recent years?
Well, when I think I started my career in early 80s, most of us aspired to be in the professional fields. For example, there were civil engineers, architects, there were computer engineers, doctors, nurses, teachers. But from that time to now, things has changed. We see more women in the business who run their own businesses, they're part of community, that contributes to the economy of the UAE. There are a lot of young entrepreneurs who are actually quite inspiring in a lot of their creativity and their thinking. But also, besides that, the changes in the career path by introducing or seeing new fields. For example, we see women engineers in the nuclear energy field. We have seen women in the manufacturing of aerospace parts here in the UAE. And also with the Mars probe mission, we have seen many women led by Her Excellency Sarah Al-Amiri as a team, that they've been part of this ambitious project for the United Arab Emirates. So when you think about it, it just reflects that there are no limits to the UAE and the women where they go. But there's one special field that's really close to my heart, and that's sports. I have seen women winning medals here from the UAE worldwide, and that in itself is quite impressive because of the typical traditional image or stereotyping that the world has about the Middle East and about Muslim countries in particular. And I think this is a breakthrough for us as women of the Middle East, as Arab women, that even in fields like sports, women have no barriers.
Thank you so much, Sheikha Lubna, for your uplifting word and for being such an inspiring role model for women around the world. Back to Sophie. Empowering women has been extremely important to Cartier. So tell us, what does Cartier play in supporting and empowering women?
Yes, thank you, Iman. So to answer your question, you know that by essence, it's really in our DNA, Cartier is a feminine maison since the beginning. And we have some hidden treasures. I like to say that because it's really hidden treasures. These are our commitments towards women. We have two major ones. The first one is Cartier Women's Initiative, and Hiba will let you later on her experience through this platform, which is very dear to us. This is a platform created in 2006. And the aim is to support women entrepreneurs driving businesses who have a positive impact on the world. So it can be very different fields. It can be in the environment, in health, in education. And we help these women to reach the full potential of their businesses. There is a second commitment, which is very, very important for Cartier as well, which is Cartier Philanthropy. We strive through this organization to support kids, in particular kids and women in the less developed countries. So it's also a very important commitment that we have. And to answer the end of your question about the vision of Cartier towards women, for us, we really believe in women, and we really believe in this equal world where we all have a place and a role to play, because we strongly believe that when women thrive, all humanity thrive.
That's why we all love Cartier. I would like to now ask the audience a question whether or not gender has affected their professional life. A poll will appear on your screens in a bit. Please do vote, and don't worry, the results are anonymous. the poll will appear in seconds. So the poll question would be, have gender ever affected your professional life? It could be, yes, I had to fight harder for my success than my male peers. No, being a woman has never held me back. Or it has been a roadblock, but I'm hopeful that those barriers have been dismantled for future generations. We would love to hear from you, so please choose your own choices, and we look forward to knowing them. Okay. So the results show that no, being a woman has never held me back, which is very great. This finding shows that there always have been a stride between, or making great strides toward gender equality. I'm very happy to know that. Going to the next question, which is to Hind, since you were the first Emirati woman in the UN, and now in Expo 2020 with a big job, throughout your career, have you ever experienced a conflict between gender and ability?
Well, let me be honest with you, actually. When I answered the poll, and I said that, yes, I have had to work harder than my male counterparts. And that is just simply, no matter where you are, whether you are in the US, whether you are everywhere you are, we are living in a male-dominated society everywhere. This is a patriarchal world that we are living in. So let's not sugarcoat it. So that's, as in terms of a preview. But I have been, actually, we in the UAE are quite lucky because early on in my career, and Sheikha Lubna, you started your career in the 80s, and I also feel like I have been in the job for so long that I've seen a lot of transformation happen, right? And in my career, I have seen how women's positions and women owning their space and occupying that space and really being supported has evolved. And that evolution is important, whether it is referring back to the laws. Recently, we passed a law for the FNC that, we have a law that says we need 50-50, whether it's those laws that we are referring to, or whether the narrative that has been pushed for in the last 2 decades at least, has ensured that women get an equal place in the workplace. That has really been fundamental for young women today to walk into a space and to feel like they don't have to work or they don't have to fight twice as hard. And what's important about this is that this has happened on 2 levels. One, on sort of a legislative level, and 2, on a societal and in the way that we understand where we stand. And this shift is so important because, and me and Sophie always talk about this, a bad law sitting next to a negative social norm means nothing. And we in the UAE have managed to advance in parallel. And this is really something so unique and so special in if you look all over the world, I don't think, and of course I'm biased because I am a UAE national, but if you look anywhere in the world, I don't think that anybody has been able to make such a transformation in this space so quickly.
We're truly blessed, and we hope all the wishes would come across the world, definitely. Sheikha Lubna, given your wealth of experience working in a historically male-dominated environment, please show us your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this subject and the following matter?
Let me say first that because I came as a computer engineer in the early 80s, there were not many of women in technology at that time. It was a bit of a challenge, but proving yourself by delivering well, understanding the business environment, understanding the business language you're in, actually had paid off in instilling confidence about yourself and about the work that you deliver. At the end of the day, it's all about delivery. So that's one aspect. But if we look at the government, I think since the foundation of the UAE, there has been always a message about the importance of the women in the society, whether it be at home or in education, in different fields. And I remember culturally at that time, even in the in the 60s and early 70s, it was very hard for a lot of parents culturally to send their daughters abroad. But the government here, HXI, made sure that there were universities established just for the women. The students themselves, right at the beginning to encourage them, were getting salaries. So the government itself it looked at every aspect where they can encourage, motivate the women to be out there in the field. And then the affirmative action, as Hind had said about our parliament, the National Council, by instating of the 50% requirements right now to be women in our parliament. But as you move forward, I think maybe the older generation had paved the way and it had been the bridge. But nowadays, I don't see that. I don't feel it. I think, and you feel it even in the nature of the young women right now, in their ambition and what they deliver. At my generation, we always thought about, okay, what are the fields out there that we actually can work and be accepted? Whereby now, I don't think there's any limitation whatsoever. So we are indebted to our government, our leaders, for setting up the path for us, for the women. And when I talk about this, not only for the Emirati women, but all the women here, this is a very positive environment for a lot of women to work in here in the United Arab Emirates.
Of course, they have played a big role and became instrumental in opening up these opportunities for individuals and as well companies across the world. Sophie, given the ties between such a prestigious jewelry house and women in the United Arab Emirates, how do you define the relationship between Emirati women and Cartier?
Very strong. And I would start with, first of all, you know that this relationship dates from 1 century. In fact, Jacques Cartier, the grandson of the founder of Cartier, he came in 1912 in the region, in Dubai. He stayed in Dubai. He met your people. He loved the culture. And he came back to Europe with an amazing source of inspiration, which was Islamic arts. And you know that Islamic arts are still a big part of the inspiration today in Cartier's creation. And then when it comes to Emirati women and Cartier, I think this is also a long-lasting love story. And I have an image that I like. And when I look at your background, chère alumna, this is the panther. The panther, you know, this animal is very dear to you. It's very dear to the Emirati women. It really represents an animal that is venerated in your country. When it's about Cartier, you know that this is really a very symbolic animal for us as well. And I think it says everything. I think that beyond the animal itself, we share so many things in common. It's about elegance, it's about beauty, it's about also pioneer spirit that we love so much in your country and that is really part of the values of Cartier. So I think, yes, it's something very, very strong that is happening between Emirati women and Cartier.
Absolutely. On that note, Sheikha Lubna has served as a jury member for the Cartier's Women Initiative. So Sheikha Lubna, what was for you the most rewarding about the experience as a jury member, of course, and what impact does the initiative have?
Let me begin by saying I worked on this initiative as head of jury for Asia, the continent of Asia, as well as the Middle East. And within this time that I was participating in this, I came across the most amazing women worldwide. And these are members of the jury, head of the jury, and the idea, the approach itself that Cartier had for us, and looking at potential winners, eliminating what we didn't think that was a a candidate for the finalists, and then moving forward with this till the last mile of this by getting together and doing the actual evaluation of the 3 finalists towards the closure of this and the winning. So the connectivity and understanding and meeting so many international women with incredible backgrounds and profession. Number 2, actually, this particular initiative is quite unique. I mean, as a head of jury for Asia, I did not only meet the young, inspiring women who were competing from Asia. We met and listened and heard all the young entrepreneurs during the final session before giving the award. And it is incredible energy. It is incredible to see what these young women, how they think, their approach, their social responsibility, all their projects. Not only they focus on delivery, but they have a cause in their minds with their delivery. And that's so crucial. It's a completely different culture of young women than what we are as traditionalists ourselves. And third and most important part was the Cartier family, the team of the Cartier, the senior management, the CEO, the chairman, all the way from Paris to including the teams within the UAE here. They are the most incredible people in terms of their core love for women and driving women forward. At the beginning, it took me by surprise, but in a very positive way and a positive note, because I believed Cartier was probably a brand that reflects wealth. I didn't realize their commitment toward women worldwide, what they put in. And when you talk about the winners, whether it's first, second, or third, the amount of support they give prior to the winning, till the end, and post winning. I don't know, I have been part of so many initiatives supporting young women and young entrepreneurs, but this one strikes me as a very unique and very dear to my heart. So I have a lot of respect for them, and I do have a lot of love for them.
Absolutely, very impactful. Dr. Heba Shatta, you're the 2019 winner of the Cartier's Women Initiative Award. Tell us a bit more about your journey and the Maharat Learning Center. We would love to know more about it.
I will start by talking about my life story. Started when my daughter had been diagnosed with autism in 2006. And at that time, there was no early intervention, no diagnosis, no school will take the child. It was such a struggle and an empty space. So I started my Child Early Intervention Center. I established it in 2008, hoping to give the children the needs, the support they need to access mainstream schools. We were shocked in 2010 to find that schools will not accept the children. So we started several initiatives, from I Want to Go to School campaign, to workshops, to engaging the community of teachers and schools to start to open the door. In 2016, the strategy for inclusion came up, and Maharat Learning Center idea came out to support children inside the schools. So we provide them with everything they need to enable them and empower them, not only to access schools, but to transition to university and to job market and be able to live independent and happy life. So our mission is for empowering and enabling special need students to be engaging in the community. For this, we needed a lot of awareness. And the last 4 years, this year we celebrate, this week we celebrate our 4th year. And it's been challenging because we had so much to do in very short time, but we have achieved a lot. Winning Cartier Women Award was one of them. It gave me an opportunity to voice our mission. We are also part of a global community of entrepreneurs. These women have similar challenges, especially in the COVID-19, we came together. And it's very important when you are an entrepreneur and in business that you find people who understand your language, understand your struggle, you come together and support each other. The Cartier Women Award is a journey by itself, because it's not only giving you an opportunity to learn how to do the business. When I got it, when I was accepted, I thought I would go to the stage, get my award and move home. But actually it's a 6 months of a learning journey where you learn how to pitch, how to present, how to communicate your thoughts, how to fundraise. You get a chance to attend an INSEAD, a course on business. get a chance to be part of the global network of entrepreneurs. You're invited to a lot of events. You're participating in an event like today. So you're giving a gift that will continue to be given to you. It's not stop. You're continuously supported. I have a coach also from Cartier to help me to develop my business. So today we have opened our branch in Saudi Arabia. We have signed a contract to open 10 centers in Saudi. We are now launching our transition to university program in association with the American University of the Emirates. So we have a lot of achievement in such a short time, and I believe the Cartier Women Award have helped me also to leap a little bit so we can achieve some goals in a faster way. My advice for any woman who have an impactful business to apply for this award, whether you win or you lose, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are a winner. You learn a lot, you gain a lot, and you meet a lot of interesting and inspiring women during this journey. And the gift does not stop, it's just continue. And I think the next cycle will start in May 2021. So if you have the right idea, please go ahead. And I'm here to also to support you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Heba. It's great to know that receiving the Cartier Women Initiative have meant this much to you, and all this, and you're juggling your role as a mother and make a difference in people's life. It's a huge step. Thank you very much. And with such a big, huge job at Expo 2020 Dubai, how do you center yourself and focus on your goals?
Thanks, Iman. First, I want to say congrats, Dr. Heba, on achieving so much on this very important topic. Iman, to answer your question, I think the first thing I would have to refer to is we're lucky to have such great role models. I look at the women who have done it before me. I look at the women who have had so much more weight to carry on their shoulders and such a big responsibility to deliver, and they have always delivered with excellence. And so we talked about our role models today, and we are so blessed to have role models like Sheikha Lubna, like Reem al-Hashimi, who have immense responsibilities in terms of what they deliver on. And when I think of people like that, when I think of women like that, and then my job feels, you know, I don't want to say small because I attach a lot of value to what I do, but it puts things in perspective for you. Second, I keep my focus by always trying to remember that I am here in service, in a sense. And I'm at the service of my country. I'm at the service of the issues I care about, like gender equality and empowering women. And I'm at the service of something much bigger than myself. And so all of that takes away any kind of thoughts about stress and, you know, what do I have to do? Or all of those negative things that make you doubt. And third, I always try to lead from my heart, and I always try to lead with passion, and I try to find the fun in what I'm doing. And, you know, people who've worked with me know that, you know, when something comes from inside, it's a real honor to be able to work from that place.
I confirm, Hind, that you work with passion.
Truly, truly. As women, we have always multiple roles, either mothers, daughters, businesswomen, and many other roles or hats that we put on. And it's extremely important for us to ensure that we maintain always our physical and mental health and well-being. So I would like to open up a question to the audience by bringing up our second poll question, which is going to be in a couple of seconds on the screen. What would have been the biggest impact on the way you function in your personal and professional life? First, would it be flexible hours and ability to work from home? Or is it improved nutrition and physical health? Or a workspace and culture that boosts mental well-being and aims to reduce anxiety? We're looking forward to hear your answers. And you haven't answered, this is your chance to express your thoughts. Amazing. And the results show that, interesting, that most of our lives would be improved if we have a workspace and culture that boosts mental well-being and aims to reduce anxiety by 45%. Very, very interesting. Truly interesting. We would like to hear from our panelists on that results. Should we may start with Sheikha Lubna? We would love to hear from you. And what's the biggest impact on your professional and personal life?
Well, I actually support this, the workplace and culture that boosts mental well-being and aims to reduce anxiety. What happens with most of us is we've got a mandate and responsibility within home. But in the same time, we carry a lot of anxiety the minute we go to the office, and in our mindset, where the house and the home is still in the background in our minds. But the minute you start to create a comfortable environment, you create loyalty of employees, you create communication and compassion amongst everyone. So automatically you get a form of informal support group amongst your peers within the organization. But having to believe that you actually are comfortable in the work environment, you go home and you still have energy to look after the house. I remember I did this when I was starting up Tajari.com. That was the only organization as a startup where I believed I can do whatever I want. And one of the things that we created was the dining room. And what it was is it was a place where most employees would have lunch. In perspective of a CEO, I wanted to capitalize when people tend to go out to eat, they go beyond an hour. But when we all eat together, you have people of different backgrounds within the organization talking about their parts. So there's quite a lot of lively discussion and it gives a homey environment. And you'd see most of us actually get together in an environment. Now, having said that, that was the year 2000. This is 20 years ago. What you see now with a lot of cultures and big organizations, especially these in the internet sphere, social media and everything else, that the environment went beyond that. We've had visits with Cartier in California and Silicon Valley, and it was mind-blowing to see what these companies do and the culture they create for their employees, especially that they're in thousands. You think they're actually living in an environment of a fun park rather than working for an organization. So definitely things change, but I'm a firm believer the CEOs, executives of companies should actually focus on the comfort and listening to their employees, understanding their issues. The minute you absorb part of that anxiety, they go home and they're comfortable.
Truly. So Hind, how do you balance between your professional and personal life?
Thanks, Iman. First, I just want to take a moment to reflect on what Sheikha Lubna has said, because I think what she has said is really, really important. And when you have that culture that support from your CEO or whoever you're working for, that believes in your vision, that believes in your passions, that allows you that creates a comfortable space for you, then it becomes a lot more easy to make your job fun, as I was saying. Of course, all the things that were mentioned in that poll are very important, and these are the practical elements of the things that we have to do. We have to play a huge role in maintaining that balance, right? We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to have those practical tools. So I do all of those things. But I also, it's a part of, I think, growth. Sheikha Lubna, you must remember, 10 years ago when you used to visit New York, I was a ball of stress. So it's part of that growth and part of that journey that you know you have to rise above it, and you get to a place where it's more than just yourself, and it's more than the 9 to 5, and it's that something bigger that you're delivering to yourself, to the world, to your community, to your society, and to life in general.
That's a great balance you keep between professional and personal life. I would like to ask a question to Sophie. How do you maintain your own health and well-being, being all around between UAE and around the world?
I think I cannot agree more with what Sheikha, Lubna and Hind just said. And I think on my side, trying to find this balance, which is not easy, and especially before COVID, it wasn't easy to find this balance. So today I would like to share 2 recipes that I have. The first one is the fact that more and more I really need to practice. And this is something that I do in Dubai. I go on the track in the morning to start well my day, to think about, let's say, how I can manage the day and the things to do. This is the first thing. And the second thing, which is for me the most important in life, is that behind my career there is a man. There is my husband, who supported me since the beginning. He followed me to Dubai 6 years ago without knowing what he would do in Dubai. And for me, this is really together that we manage the education of the kids. This is a teamwork. And for me, it comes back to this balance that we are all speaking about, balance in terms of gender, but also balance in a couple to be, let's say, to give the most that we can to our family.
That's truly inspiring. Great to hear that as well. We'll go back to Hind with a question we would like to really know about. Central to your position and role at Expo 2020 is the collaboration with Cartier on the Women's Pavilion, which we're very excited to know about. Can you tell us a bit more about these partnerships and what's the objective of the Women's Pavilion?
My favorite topic. So we
Mine as well, Hind.
And hopefully will become all of yours too. When you come and visit us at Expo, you know, we have just postponed our Expo. It was supposed to open in October 2020, and now we are opening on the 1st of October 2021. This particular pavilion, the Women's Pavilion, came by this amazing meeting of worlds and meeting of the minds. And like Sheikha Lubna mentioned earlier, you know, I think that Cartier has been such a wonderful partner, from the level of the CEO, who I've had the pleasure of meeting, to everybody on the team. We have become family, I want to say. And so this decision to have a women's pavilion was that convergence of, you know, Her Excellency Reem Al Hashemi's commitment to this issue, to this topic, to ensuring that gender equality and women's empowerment at Expo would be front and center, and Cartier's as well. And so when you bring these two together, we found ourselves in a beautiful collaboration for this pavilion with the title of New Perspectives. And here we are trying to tell the story of women's contributions to society throughout history to now. We all know, and as I don't like to use that word a lot, but I'm finding myself today using it. The narrative, the historical story of our world has been written by men. And a lot of the times, women's contributions have been forgotten. Women's perspectives are not always integrated centrally. And what we want to do in this pavilion is sort of invite you to develop this new perspective. Join us in a journey that will tell the story of women, past and present, that will shift how you understand women's role in society, how they have contributed in the past, and how they still continue to contribute today. We have lots of exciting things that are going to happen in the pavilion. We will offer a series of programs that respond to cross-cutting issues related to women's empowerment. We are very, very excited to share more with you. And we hope that each and every one of you listening today will come and engage with us and will visit us more than once and see what amazing, amazing impact women have made on our world.
Sophie, being on the other side of the groundbreaking collaboration, what does it mean for Cartier to be such an important part of the world's exposition in the UAE?
It means a lot. A lot. Because first of all, we are very honored to be part of the World Exhibition hosted in Dubai. We know that this is the first time that such an exhibition will take place in the Middle East, India and Africa region. So it's something very important and we are, first of all, very happy to be part of. And then we think that today, and we can see that over the last weeks and months, today organizations really have a role to play, really have a voice to give, especially towards issues that matter to the world. And it's much more than business. It's not about business. Let's say, we use the business as a force for good. So it's very important for us. We have a responsibility. We want to act as a global citizen, and this is why this Women's Pavilion will take place. I cannot agree more with what Hind was saying. It's really, we clicked, we had exactly the same vision. And what's interesting is that it was an institution, which is Expo 2020 and public sector, who allied. So this is something very new. I think that this is the first in the world, allied for a cause. And that our, let's say, individual interests are absorbed by this cause. And what we want to say about that. So this is very important. And as I told you before, the woman topic, the woman cause is really a topic that is dear to us. We are committed for years around this topic. So it appeared very natural for us to work jointly, of course, with him and all the team at Expo 2020 under the guidance. And what you mentioned, Hin, is very important, because under the guidance of Her Excellency Rimala Shimi and also our CEO, because I think that the two of them are really convinced about this cause. They are really following the topic from closely, and we are very lucky for that. And it makes things easier. You see what I mean? So it's a great journey, which started 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago. And we are very happy to continue that. Even with the postponement, I think it gives you even more time to prepare something very strong. We want to ally our forces, to embark countries, to embark also other institutions, to embark ambassadors that have a say to give on the topic.
Amazing. We're looking so forward to visiting it next year. As a final note,
if I may just add one thing, Sophie, you have, Cartier has a lot of friends and allies, but I also have to thank Sheikha Lubna, who in many conversations with her, she reminds me of what we are about in the UAE. We are a Muslim country. We will safeguard that perspective. We are Arab women, but also, we are women of the world coming together. And so I just have to mention that specific conversation which really guides us, and this is why we keep mentioning our role models in this country, and we're so lucky to have them.
Yes, thank you, Sheikha Lubna. You know how dear it is to us, your contribution and your advice also on this topic that is super important for you, we know.
And thank you so much for your insight as well. Thanks a lot. We're reaching to our final note today, and I would like to ask all panelists, and in fact, it's one of my favorite questions. What is your vision for women in the next 10 years? Sheikha Lubna, we would love to start with you.
before I start, we always say behind a great man, there's a great woman supporting him. But I must say, behind the Cartier brand and all the women of Cartier, there's an incredible man. His name is Cyril Bignon, which is the CEO of Cartier. In all the conferences that we participated, in addition to the Cartier initiative, this gentleman has always been on the forefront of supporting any ideas, any thoughts. So I am grateful and I'm honored to have known him in close connection. You know, we always say the sky is the limit, right? When you say, you know, what is the future? The sky is the limit. Well, I'm going to change that today. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, since the mission of Mars mission, and say that the galaxy is the limit now for women.
Very true. So great. Sheikha Lubna, what would be your vision for women in the next 10 years?
Well, if I think about what fields are out there, there'll be new fields coming. There'll be new enterprises, women in artificial intelligence, women who are creators, more scientists, more entrepreneurial. The energy that we see with the young women today moving forward, I think they will surprise us. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. I have full confidence in the young women and the young generation, and the men as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Hind, what about you?
Well, first of all, I am focused on delivering an exceptional expo. So that's what I wish for the very near future. But on a more serious note, I do hope that we don't have to talk about gender equality and women's empowerment anymore, because women reaching the top will not be the exceptions. It will be the rule. It will be something that happens all the time. I do hope that every sort of empowerment, every form of empowerment, whether it is traditional, indigenous, however we understand it, is recognized, that there is that multiple understanding of what an empowered woman represents. Mm-hmm. And I really hope that in the next 10 years, we are truly in collaboration with each other to build a better world, not just as women amongst ourselves, but men, women, people with disability. Everybody is seen as a valued participant in how we create our world moving forward.
Truly. And what about you, Sophie?
Yes, same. I think that I'm fully aligned with everything that Shera, Lubna and Hind said, because for me, what I'm looking forward is a more equal world with equal opportunities for everybody, but whether it's for gender, for diversity, for everything. And I think that the most important is that everybody has a role to play in this shift. And every little change will lead to a large impact. So it's really not a side topic that is for the government. No, it's for everybody. We have all a call on this shift, and I really hope that everybody will understand that and will be inspired to move forward.
Absolutely. And Dr. Heba, what's your vision?
I do believe that today, and after seeing what's happening in Saudi Arabia, for example, with the women support and empowerment today, we will see women and men working together to build their nation. I don't think we will be discussing topics of gender differences or she's a woman or a man, but I think we will be discussing more of results and performance and how to bring the quality into our work. But I do believe that media have to focus also on successful stories. There are a lot of professional, successful women out there, nobody working in the background, nobody knows about them. Nurses, doctors, there's so many people contributing, especially now in the COVID-19. There are a lot of women who've been suffering as well. And I think media need to focus also on bringing the successful stories to the world. The only stories we have seen in the past are victimized and incidental assaults, where we have to focus on the positive, successful stories of a lot of, not only women, but there is a lot of people, men and women, who have done an amazing job, and they should be the one who's really getting the attention and getting some praise for their work. I believe in that men and women work together. I like Sheikha Lubna, I started my career in the 90s, and at that time we were professionals, and as a doctor, there are fields there. For example, I wanted to be in oral surgery, but I was not allowed because there is no room for you for on-call. There were so many barriers. But afterwards, when women started to ask for more and more, it was established for them. And again, it's important to have oral surgeon, women and men, female doctors, male doctors. But at that time, the awareness and the preparation were not there. I think now the society is more prepared, more aware. There is a big force coming from women themselves who wants to prove themselves. They want to enter new fields. They want to tackle new opportunities. They have the brain, they have the support. The opportunities today are much more open. And I can see that in 10 years, we will no longer discuss issues we are discussing today.
I'm very looking forward for the vision for women in the next 10 years. It's truly exciting. Thank you so much to our inspiring panelists. I'm personally very inspired myself. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you all with us today for this special Emirati Women's Day webinar. And thank you so much for everyone who have joined us. Happy Emirati Women's Day to everyone in the UAE. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Iman. Thank you, Zahra. It was a great pleasure to be with you, with such inspiring women. Thank you, Sheikha Lubna, for your precious time. I know that you have lots of requests. We are very honored to have you, and you're always present. Thank you, Hind. It's a pleasure. We've been working very closely over the last years. It will continue. And bravo, Iba, for what you're doing. It's amazing. We had already many conversations together. It's super inspiring, and it shows that, yes, you started from nothing because there was a lack, and you just had the idea and you move forward, and it's just super inspiring for all of us. So bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I am very honored to be with this panel. Thank you, Sheikha Lubna. You're always inspirational for us, for me as well. When I came 20 years old, you were always there in front of us. So you're a leader and true inspirational woman. And Hind, it's a pleasure meeting you, and I wish you all the best success with the Expo 2020. And our host and Cartier, Sophie, and Iman, we're very, I think, as a winner of Cartier and as a woman living in UAE and as a mother and as a professional, these platforms really inspire us and keep us giving and keep us going. So thank you.
I would like to thank the edit by Zahra al-Khalij, as well as Cartier, for giving us this great opportunity. It has been quite a fun and exciting session, and I feel like I'm sitting with all of you somewhere in a nice place, not on a screen. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's the beauty of technology. Luckily, we have it now.
And also thank you to all the audience. I see there, we actually have about 125 participants, so that's impressive.
Yes, thank you for the wishes from the participants. It's been truly an honor.
Yes. Thank you so much as well. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Sheikha Lubna, for being with us. Hiba, I want to assure you that all of those stories that you mentioned will be captured in our pavilion. All of these women who are, we call them the unseen stars in our universe, will be captured in our pavilion. And I really hope that we'll get to see you all there. And thank you to our wonderful moderator and to the edit by Zahra. Sophie, we keep on working. Pleasure to see you, Sheikha.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Iman. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Iman.